Okay, guys, here we go. I think we're live. I saw someone just now. Okay. Ah, hey, Skel. How are you doing, Skel? I hope you're well, man. What's new in the hood, Skel? What you got going on down in New Zealand? Hey, Ty. Hey, John. Ty, how are you? I hope you're well. I hope Home Depot has been treating you well as well. If I recall, you're still working there. I don't think... It's always tough to try and keep track of like the minutia of everyone's lives, Ty. So forgive me if I got something wrong there. Hey, Kayla. So guys, I wanted to play Tales of Arise, but I thought about it and I thought like it's just not gonna work. It's not gonna work, not for our streams. I need something I can afford to not do anything with, and so that's why we're playing Genshin. And also, this is gonna come out eventually, but I'm still sick. I thought I would get better. Actually, on Thursday I had something different, and then on Saturday I was starting to feel a little bit ill, and then on Sunday I was fully sick again. So apologies. I'm probably gonna be coughing a little bit. Probably gonna sneeze once or twice. I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you. It's just one of those days. It sucks. Do you have the coof? Well, I'm double vaxxed, and I haven't taken the test yet. But like, this actually is a little bit of a concern. So I don't know. I'm doubled up, so I should be okay regardless. But it's actually kind of weird. We don't know. Yeah, we'll have to see. Okay, so Skelly is stressed through 2 assignments and helps some people get jobs in these stressful times. You help people get jobs? Wow, Skell. You're gonna graduate from being undead. You're just gonna become like a patron, some kind of patron saint in general. Oh my gosh, you're gonna become like some kind of angel of good fortune. Wow, Skell. You know what? I always knew you could. I always knew you could be a force for good. I always knew. Now, what do I need to do here? Yeah, commissions. Okay, gotcha. And next week is the last episode of Slime. Nice, Random. I have to catch up. Hopefully this week I'll catch up and maybe make a review video for it. But we'll have to see. Time sure flies, though. I keep looking at the days and they keep going by. And it's just like, wow, we're already halfway through September. And Ty's treated all right at his place of work. That's good, Ty. One thing that's really good about... you know, big stores, Ty, is that it's really hard for them to screw you over because like it's so corporate that they have to do everything in the correct way. Like if you were working for a mom and pop shop, there's actually a lot more opportunity. What the heck? There's more opportunity for something to go wrong and for you to be screwed over. Like at mom and pop, you're like more likely to be missing out on your payments and all that kind of stuff. So there's advantages and disadvantages to working at one of the big stores like Walmart and them. I know if you're a laborer, you're going to be like, being a laborer is pretty sketchy dependent on whether or not you're a good judge of character. Because if you go with the wrong company or the wrong contracting company in general, you might not get paid for a long time. Just because like with laborer type jobs, they tend to get screwed over the most.
Enhanced animal module 75 absorption test.
Mind you, like if it's good, it's good. Sometimes you can make like what, 30 bucks an hour? But just too much screwage. Gotta always keep an eye out. Oh, hey, Jason. Oh, and again, guys, sorry. I am doing my best. I have networked hard enough to know people who have projects and people who can fill roles. That is wonderful, Scale. That is super wonderful.
Nice and spicy.
That's like, you know, that's kind of the dream that you want to have, like after leaving school. You do want to be in a position where you can network all the time, just because like at the end of the day. It's not just what you know. It's about it's who you know and what you know. You know, it's those two things. You're not gonna get very far just having credentials. You need to know how to get into. You need to know how to get your foot in the door. Birdies, no. Okay. Just know that Raphael has a little temper with Rimuru. Yes. Off to a shocking start. Who is the troll that disliked that stream? Oh, someone disliked it? Oh, that's too bad. Walmart is soul sucking now. It is, but it's a job, right? Ah, no, Jason. I have my write-up for it. So, Jason, I was just telling everyone I'm still sick. But I have my write-up for it. So I will be reviewing it, hopefully by the time I'm off the stream or maybe tomorrow. That's what I'm planning on doing. I have my write-up. I can tell you, like, the main points I'm going to be tackling. So, I'm going to be tackling on that episode. I think there was a correction about Twice and what exactly he meant by Toga's measurements. So Toga's measurements had changed because of puberty, which I think kind of stupid because it's only a few months. But whatever, they give an excuse. Then there was the offhanded comment that Dobby knows a plastic surgeon, and that's like, does he? So I'm going to be talking about that. You know, talk about Trumpet's quirk. We had to talk about the fact that Spinner was a shut-in. He says he's the ultimate follower. Redestro's quirk, meta abilities. Probably talk a little bit about the whole thing that meta abilities are connected to personality. Quirk evolution and awakening. We already kind of know what this does in the long term. Redestro and Shigaraki's physical ability. If there is something that is just odd, it's seeing Shigaraki be so cat-like. But, you know, you can justify that with Gigantomachia. The Shigaraki flashbacks. Let's see. The philosophy of a world with no creation has no future, which I think Redestro is completely correct here. Then, of course, we'll have to talk about, like, Shigaraki's dad, and, you know, Shigaraki's dad is a victim, and he's a victim creating more victims. And then also talk about the stupidity of you make up rules, but they take precedent over your kid's very real health conditions, which is stupid. This is probably actually the thing that really damns Shigaraki's dad. It's like making up ideas and, again, taking precedent over physical reality. Like, this is probably the one of the big issues with Shigaraki's dad. We'll probably be talking more about the stuff that we don't know Shigaraki's allergic to. Hopeful Shigaraki is cute. The author was really good at building the innocence. Okay, let's see. Oh, sorry. Hopeful Shigaraki was adorable. The anime did a really good job on Shigaraki's faces for a good chunk of them. Let's see. We saw probably talk about the little bit of the quirk that we see, the tragedy, and Shigaraki's outburst. Yeah, so those are probably going to be the main points I cover on that video. And I did notice that the anime didn't show the man that brought Shigaraki in, which I think is very... That's just par for the course. The anime always does this. So I'm not surprised. Those guys are cutting corners so quickly now that I'm not really surprised. I haven't done any other big comparisons to the manga just yet. Pardon me. Yeah, I haven't done any big comparisons to the manga yet, but I'm interested. Was there one more point about that episode I wanted to say? I don't really care about the visuals. At some points they look kind of Looney Toony, but whatever. One thing I was thinking after watching the episode, because of the allergy cream that his mother was applying, I started wondering if it's possible to provoke a quirk mutation with the allergy cream. Like, I wonder, would you be able to do that? I mean, like, and I'm thinking about just the idea of maybe All For One being the one that triggered all this. It's just like, there's a few weird things when it comes to Shigaraki's story, and the issue is like what things are weird and what things are just a natural response to being in a bad environment. Like, for instance, Shigaraki's allergy, it looks like a stress response, right? But that the ointment, that cream, I wonder if the doctor knows where quirks came from in the first place. That's all I can really think of. Okay, apologies. Okay. Okay. Tai said, now I've been doing a lot of thinking and truly believe between Nezu and Hatsume they are the traitor. They are officially my main two. If Nezu isn't a traitor, he's definitely connected to All For One. Interesting, Tai. I think we, author and Koji Koda, underestimate his quirk. Just look, Ratcatcher 2. She uses swarms to took down... Oh, yeah, yeah. I do think Koda is probably severely underutilized. I think there's a lot of ways you can make this work. And yeah, I hope I'm better by tomorrow. Redestro's company was mentioned in this last episode. Was it? I must have missed that, man. The Twice thing is weird since Horikoshi had to change the dialogue because of the mistake he made, where he forgot that Twice already made a clone and thus had already measured her. Yeah. I'm also honestly hoping for at least a fourth of the My Hero Academia chapter tomorrow, showing Deku getting cleaned up and getting rest. I really want to see what Class 1A... I don't know. It's kind of hard to say, Kayla. Like right now, we could do like a quick time skip. It's just I'm not sure if Horikoshi's gonna slow down and show a slice of life. You know, that's the thing that concerns me. Honestly, I'm a little surprised we don't already have spoilers since the chapter for she releases. Wait, we're getting early chapters? Hey, open R's. Wait. We're getting early chapters? Seriously? What's the occasion? Is there a holiday in Japan? I am gonna go look at the chapter schedule right now. I did not know this. No, there it is, Friday. Wow. How do we not have the spoilers? I agree. I fully agree. And I checked 4chan right before I went on because I was looking for One Piece spoilers because I didn't remember if One Piece was active this week. Oh, wait. The table of contents is here. So the table of contents for Shonen Jump is up. And Red Hood is second to last. And Neru is last. So that's the third week. Yeah, next week if Red Hood is in bottom 3, it's guaranteed. Red Hood is dead. Where's that other one I've been looking at? Where is God of Destruction? Ah, there it is. Yeah, Red Hood is... Next week for sure, Red Hood is dead. Now let me see here. Spoilers. No. Nothing. Leaks. So far all we have are the... Yeah, no, nothing. Alright, cool. Oh, Baki the Grappler is having its 30th anniversary. Nice. Nice. Alright, but yeah, we have the table of contents. Okay, so Jason made a good comment. Shiggy's father is very realistic. You have a lot of people that endured trauma that end up doing the same when on in life. I agree, Jason. I fully agree. I think, like, I like victims creating victims from a narrative perspective because it's like, this is very true to life. It's usually victims creating victims. And I do like when it comes to the father, how the author put in all the tales to tell you, like, yeah, no, this is a guy that's hurting. And unfortunately, you know, he is betraying his child when he ultimately acts lesser, or he gives in to the trauma kind of thing. And I say betraying in the like in the grand philosophical sense, like as a parent your role is to protect the child. That's why I'm saying betraying. You want to hear my theory on how Nezu is either a traitor or at least connected to the All For One Doctor? Because looking back at a few things made me think, yeah, no, I 100% want to hear it. I wonder if the spoiler will get released tonight or will be the same as always. I wonder why they skipped the man in black with Shigi. Maybe it would be too obvious to anime watchers. Honestly, Jason, I think you're being way too nice to them. I think it's just flat out, they skip things. This is just what they always do. This is more of the same. It's like asking, why did they skip out on showing Shirakumo flashback at the end of joint training? It's like asking, why did they skip out Nemto's, or sorry, not Nemto. Actually, no, it was Nemto's backstory. It's just because the anime staff is just, they're not that great at little details. Sarge said, to me it was dumb to give Shigaki that kind of speed, and they should have been more clear on him losing his fingers because it looked like Redestro grabbed his hand and not his wrist. I agree. I do think when Shigaraki was doing the runaround on Redestro, I'm like, I don't think Shigaraki's that fast, because that makes it look like he almost has another quirk. It's just, the anime's never been good at this kind of stuff when they get too sensational though, right? So this is just kind of more of the same. Look, if you're looking at the anime for some kind of power scaling in Hero Academia, you're going to be in trouble, is what I think. There was another spot that also got me wondering, oh yeah, Shigaraki just tanking things is also kind of, I don't know. Like, Shigaraki doesn't have that kind of hardiness. But is it wrong that I smiled when Shigi decayed Hana because she lied and got him into more trouble? You know, Random, I think that's just like a very base thing for us, for people. In that, you know, like, if you've ever been lied about by a sibling or by family members, you don't like it. You understand, like, oh yeah, she's a kid, and you get it. But at the same time, it's like, oh damn it, right? It's just that inner child in you is just so angry about the injustice. Shigedaki's allergic to things he hates. Shigeraki would be a terrible McDonald's employee. Agreed. Hey Omar, you're right. Hopefully Horikoshi does a school brief for the aftermath of the war arc and the letters. I can't imagine how dark the cover will be for this already. I think so, Kayla. I think school briefs would be great. And you could have like I think if you were doing a school briefs cover for this period in time, I think you could do like a light within the darkness, like a calm within the storm kind of thing. Like just show, you can be in a place of destruction, but show the kids are trying to do the best of it. I think you can make school briefs work like that. But I don't know, Kayla. We'll have to see. I hope we take a chill pill for a second, but I don't know, man. Oh, Jason said you might be quite right about Red Hood. For Never said the same thing. He also thinks it's going to be canceled. Well, to give you just so you know my full reasoning for this, Jason, I'm not basing this on quality or anything like that. I'm just basing this on trends, right? And you know how I am with this. So Red Hood's been at the bottom of the manga for 3 weeks now. And yeah, once you get to the 4th week of being in the bottom 3, it's guaranteed you're dead. So at least when it comes to trends, all the other canceled series follow that trend. And the reason it's 4 weeks is because series like Yokozuna Family and Undead Unluck, they can go, and also A Gravity Boys, they can go into bottom 3 for a few weeks straight and still be okay. That's why it's usually 4 weeks that tells us, oh yeah, no, these people are legitimately dead. Now, it'll be interesting. Like, I do kind of want to take time to analyze the things that Red Hood did, because I do think, on a critical note, that Red Hood took too many terrible lessons from My Hero Academia. I think Red Hood was not made as a I don't think Red Hood was made as a first series. I think Red Hood was made as if the author was in the middle of a 100 chapter epic, as in he was beyond chapter 100. I think Horikoshi's style might have doomed this guy. But mind you, there's other factors in Red Hood also that are still kind of questionable, that might have made it not do well with the Shonen Jump audience. What I'm actually really surprised about when it comes to these rankings right now is that Neru, the new one, that samurai one, I'm kind of surprised that one's not doing well. I really like that one. I really wanted it to do a little bit better, but that's too bad. Yeah. Now, the thing is, unfortunately, I don't think it's going to happen here, but usually, or sometimes, very rarely, a series can be saved if another series is worse than it. So, in this case, Neru could be saved by Red Hood being terrible. Or I don't know if there's any other new ones that are going on right now, but no, the timing isn't good. Red Hood is the one that's saving Undead Unluck kind of thing. Yeah. It's a rough situation there. Ah, yes, random. I know that. I read that one. Hey, Trip, I have something interesting to report from my journeys through the Hero Academia online discussion. I might need your help fact-checking some stuff, Trip, since I don't have easy access. Oh, yeah, let's do it. And I don't know, Gansta. It depends on the voice they give the mysterious man in Shigaraki's background. Oh, sorry, backstory. I see. God of War Thor looks like Mountain from Game of Thrones. Oh, I heard about that, John. I honestly just want to see Todoroki talk to Deku honestly, whether it be the manga or a novel, since he basically threw the logic and facts at Deku rather than trying to connect with Deku. I agree, Kayla. It would be... There were a few people that I would love to see Izuku talk back to. It's like Tsuyu and Shoto for me. Is there any One Piece stuff? No, Omar. I haven't found any One Piece stuff. Oh, wait. Let me just see. Is there One Piece this week? No, there's no One Piece this week, man. It's on break. That's too bad. I honestly just want to see... Okay, I got that. He didn't really tag it per se. The anime just can't be consistent with their drawn battle damage because he was on death's door in the manga. Ah, excellent. I was just like... It looks like he tanked it. It just looked weird. Shiraki a little bit... Sorry, back at USJ, he was able to react to Aizawa's attacks and close the gap on Tsuyu so that they couldn't even react to it. That's true. That's true. One thing I noticed is that the only animals that have quirks and are all working for All for One in some way, especially vigilantes. There was an elephant and panda, both being experimented on. The only other intelligent non-human creature with a quirk is that bee in Vigilantes. I have come to understand was exactly a bee that was experimented on. Okay. And thanks, Chris, for giving us the confirmation. And AN683, I don't know. I haven't seen anything that looks like early spoilers. Someone keep an eye on that sushi, but I don't see anything just yet. So, I don't know if you remember, in the previous game, we discussed potential plot holes, with All For One being the man, and Shigaraki's flashback and giving him the K. Since the episode included the scene, it became a topic of discussion online community, so I went back through the series and gained more evidence and double-checked my previous points for more evidence. Okay. Yo, right, Spirit, before you showed up, I was talking to the guys about maybe potentially, I was wondering if it's possible to induce a quirk mutation in someone if the doctor knows how to make it, or if the doctor knows what caused quirks in the first place, that maybe he could induce a connection. Oh, sorry. Maybe he could induce a quirk mutation in someone, but I was just trying to make sense of how they could have triggered the K the way they did. It requires a lot of assumptions, though, to make that work. Oh, man. Almost sneezed. Alright, I'm good. I'm good. But yeah, anyway. Guys, I hope you've been having a good week. I hope your weekends were all alright. Mine was, like, on Saturday, I was able to see my friends for the first time in, like, 2 months, because one of them's a laborer. So he has to go out of town a lot of times to go and do some work in the rural areas. So that was nice. It was nice to see him. Hopefully he wasn't the one that got me sick, and hopefully I didn't get him sick. But you know, fingers crossed. But yeah, otherwise that was my weekend. Then the rest of the weekend was spent trying to get over this. Okay, and White Despair is just telling us what he's thinking. So we'll just give that time. And yeah, I'll keep an eye on 4chan to see if anything pops up. But if Asushi says something, let me know as well. Right now, all we have is a table of contents, which is... This is roughly what we get at this rate. Like, this is about consistent with... This is consistent with the usual leak schedule. Let me think. Are there any other points worth talking about? Yeah. For Red Hood, hopefully if I get the time. It's just I've been so busy trying to do other projects. But with Red Hood, I would like to do a full analysis of the series, like I said earlier. I know what to target. I think Red Hood, when you look at it a little bit closer, birds. It's got its... I think one of the first things that it did badly was probably making the first chapter roll into the second chapter. If you look at the second chapter, it's a full-on continuation from the events of the first chapter. And again, when you look at the rest of Shonen Jump, no other series does this. So if we were to look at it in like in terms of a more structured way, you could say that Red Hood has a extended hero's journey first step. And so for those that know the hero's journey, one of the first progressions in the hero's journey is the main character and the regular world. So you get introduced to the kid in his little village, and then the next step is somewhere along the line, meet the master, and then refusal of the call. And refusal of the call is pretty much just the idea that something prevents the kid from starting the journey in the incredible world. In Red Hood, the refusal of the call goes on for a long time. And it takes a long time for him to actually step into the other world. Like in Red Hood, it requires the destruction of his village, I believe, to go into the other world. And they do this over the course of many chapters. When you look at Hero Academia, for example, refusal of the call happens in chapter 1, and it's resolved in chapter 1. In chapter 1, the refusal happens, and Izuku steps into the new world that is represented by All Might, saying that he can be a hero. I believe I got my timing right. I don't think Hero Academia goes into chapter 2 with that. Let me quickly check, because this is going to be important. And I'm just talking about story structure just to fill the air a little bit. Do 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 do. Just have to make sure that I got this right. Because I remember the anime episode's a little bit weird, because I think the anime episode broke up the first episode into two. Or broke up... Oh yeah, no, there it is. Yeah, you can be a hero is how the first chapter ends. Alright, great. So, when it comes to the hero's journey, most Shonen Jump series will get it done in the first chapter, and the second chapter will be fully disconnected. And ultimately, I think this is probably one of the things that hurts Red Hood, just because it's kind of ridiculous to have an introduction arc in general. But yeah, Red Hood probably needed some more downtime between chapter 1 and chapter 2. Okay, let me read White Despair here. The main thing, okay, Ultima is too much of an opportunist to proactively give Shigaraki to K. That is a good point, Speed. He is the kind of person that waits and sees. I honestly believe that before the Nomu were being created, the Doctor used animal subjects. The intelligence to be able to possess people was just the start. I believe Nezu was the first. I'm trying to find Ty's comment here. Since the original origin of quirks came from rats, random fact I found out which someone brought up was that there is a rat symbol on Destro jacket arm. So I believe the Doctor tested on rats first. Okay. I get what you're saying. I have to go and look through Vigilantes to be able to like really converse here with you, Ty. But I get what you're saying. Okay, so back on this, I had previously used the fact that the K doesn't immediately activate as evidence against him being given it by All for One. Looking back to the backstory, the period between the man dropping Tenko off home and the K manifesting is an absolute minimum more than 24 hours. Jason said, Red Hood shouldn't have followed Hody model. Hody probably couldn't tell you why Hero Academia worked when his other stuff failed. A part of the Hero was timing. Superheroes were in... Ah, yeah, okay, got it. I kind of agree with you, man. I think timing probably helped him out a lot. I do think that maybe the heart... Like, I think Izuku's a right level of heartfelt as well. And I think that really helps. Also, you know, I'm looking at Chapter 2 All Might. Chapter 2 All Might 100% had the best genus level neck. Like, this man has the neck of a giraffe. Anyway, I heard the 5th volume of the My Hero is releasing over here in October. Is about Christmas break and the Endeavor Agency arc. 6th volume is releasing in Japan this October. All I can do is hope that volume 6 is about the aftermath of the war. I'll have to look into it, Kayla. One thing I didn't think of as a possible theory was that the reason All for One Doctor could have found out about Tenko and his family in the first place was because Tenko frequently went to a doctor in an attempt to find out what the cause of the symptoms of what they thought the allergies were. I agree. Because I think the medicine is plot... I think it's plot relevant. And Miguel, I think when you came in, I was talking about Red Hood. Have you made any progress towards the catch? Yeah, man, I have. Let me just get through this real quick. There we go. Yeah, so I only have rank 1, but I'm working through it. I'm getting there. I'm slowly but surely building it up. Now let's see. Got Ty's comment. It will be about pre-work stuff. Oh, okay. So volume 7 will be post war. Got it. Are we going to have a Shingeki where the quirk factor is an actual living creature? Brah, I hope not. Superheroes were in. They came from superheroes, stayed for the heart. Yeah, I'd be quite I'd be quite fine agreeing with that. And yeah, Miguel, we've been talking about that. Ugh. Okay, let's go there.
Someone needs assistance.
But yeah, I mean, to be honest, Jason, though, that's kind of the go-to strategy when it comes to stories. You 100% want to give them what's you want. You want 100, like it's a viable strategy. You want to do what's in trend, and then you want to hook them with like the substance behind it, right? Like Gohan and I have been talking about it for the last week here, but yeah, that's why isekais work. You start off an isekai, it looks super generic, and then once you have your audience locked in with you, that's when you start teaching them like what your series is actually about, right? So if superheroes were in trend, then Horikoshi was pretty smart. He did what the majority of successful people, like even on the Western market, do. He found a trend, he capitalized, then he showed his own unique spin on it, kind of thing, right? So props to him. And again, I think but you have to appreciate that it does take some level of talent beneath the trend seeking to be able to get to where Horikoshi got. So good for him all the same. Like trends are usually just a starting point. It's usually your skill after that makes it worthwhile. Let's see. The anime is probably saving a twist when All For One tells Shigaraki that he messed up his life all along. I mean, Miguel, I think you're being really charitable, but that's good. Good to be nice, man. I just think the anime just dropped it because they were like, alright, we're not going to draw this whole new scene. We're just going to let this happen. Let's see. Viz said, I finished building my Shogun for now. I'm really liking where she is since as a support her skill works as a slower Oz. And she does really good damage as DPS so far. Oh, nice. I like my Shogun as well. I think I have one team comp that I'm going to be very happy using her in. So I'm looking forward to that. I do want to power up a little bit more, but kind of have to wait till I get the materials for it.
Animal test 6308. Absorption test.
All right, cool. Woo! Let's see. Hey, Tarnish. Previously, I had used One for All Vestige Dream as evidence for why Decay should immediately activate if All for One gives a Tenko. And since that's the only time we've seen All for One give someone a quirk. Okay, so White Despair is still writing. Miguel said you're right. They cut out the spinner characterization at the start of the arc with Anti-Mutant Cult. Yeah, thanks for reminding me of that one, man. I completely forgot about that. That's a travesty, man. Like, that's actually... I think that was a really good moment in Hero Academia. I don't think you can have mutant shape discrimination without talking about, why exactly... without talking about these very negative aspects of Hero Academia society. Yeah. I think it's a wasted opportunity, but what can you do?
Enhanced animal module 75. I must leave no stone
And the thing is, like, mutant shape is actually really relevant. It's a really good world-building detail. But I guess the anime doesn't really care about consistency in the world, and they care more about their, like, really awesome, cool shots to get the adrenaline junkies in the audience.
Absorption test.
And yes, Guy, I know. There's so much effort that you gotta put in for the Shogun to be good with that weapon, man. Anyway, let me see. Shigaraki Decay is a mutation, right? So it's probably a combination of his parents' grandparents' quirk. It's strange that Hody did not explain it in the extra page about each of the family's quirks. Well, Poison, remember, the definition of a mutation in Hero Academia, and this is from Shizaki's arc, is that a mutation has no connection to the previous quirks. What you're thinking of is just a regular quirk combination. So remember, for the context of Hero Academia, mutations have no connection to the previous lineage. I do have the page for this because this is one of those really important details on it, Poison. If you want to look at the page, I have the chapter reference. Let me just get it for you real quick. Because these are one of those like little details, the devil in the detail kind of things, where if you don't recall it, it might make things messy later. And who knows, maybe Horikoshi also forgets it sometimes. Let's see. It's in the overhaul arc. Yeah, it's chapter 156. If you look, oh, so here we go. As Shizaki describes it, the power that manifested in her didn't resemble anything from either side of her family. It was a mutation. It's one of those it's one of those rare things you hear about now and again. There we go. Can still be some way of sending without. My main suspension comes from the UA barrier info. That is definitely a death trap to separate Izuku from everyone, and either Nezu or the real traitor knows how to work it. Hatsume is the real traitor, while Nezu is just an unknowing victim. From information gathered, Hatsume can manipulate the barrier. Alright, that's pretty intense, Tai. I do like that you're saying Hatsume, though. Anyway, White Despair said, we've seen All For One give someone a quirk. It shall remain my main point of defense for how quirk transfer works. The other example we have is All Might giving One For All to Izuku, where he said it would take 2 to 3 hours. However, this is because it would take that long for the hair to be digested and had nothing to do with the quirk needing time to manifest in a new host. But we do know and I think this is exclusive to One For All, we do know that the transfer of power takes time. It does, like, all the stockpile doesn't go to Izuku immediately. Like, it begins transferring after 2 hours, but I do think we had multiple times the note that the transfer was occurring in real time. I think. But you know what? Don't quote me on that one. I might be a little bit wrong. Let's see. The only other instance of quirk transfer that we know about is really Nagant, but we don't really have any follow-up on Nagant to really know. If I had Koji Koda quirk, I use it called a very hungry swarm of hornets. Oh, okay. Take that long for hair to be digested had nothing to do with. Got that. Spinner's dialogue needed to be reworded, I swear. Hearing him take pause about taking Shigaraki's load is a huge pause. Yo, I agree. I kept looking at that. It's just like, yes, I understand what you're saying here, but like, man, phrasing. The mutation is just a free out of jail card to make characters have crazy quirks and not worry about making up family history with that quirk. Agreed, Miguel. Agreed, totally agreed. Hey Trip, have you been having trouble with the Spectre? They haven't been difficult to beat, but they are annoying as hell. They keep flying away from me, can heal, and can be too high up. Brah, yes, I am 100% annoyed by them, man. They just don't work for me. Unless I'm forgetting something. There's no mention of stockpile transfer not happening all at once. Okay. Yeah, White Despair. I think what I'm remembering, I think I was remembering like All For One's comments about the transfer happening, but that might just be me misremembering. So I'm just going to put that out there. I think I might be misremembering that. If I will look through the manga in the upcoming weeks, if I find anything that says otherwise, I'll let you know. It's because I remember making a video saying that the transfer happened over a distance. So I don't remember what exactly my point in the video was. So that's why I think I have it in my head. So thank you, White Despair. I'll see if I can find any info about it. We got the quirk transfers from Yoichi flashback. Yes. Let's see. I always thought it was similar to, but I do agree with what Miguel is saying. No. Mutations, no. The mutations aren't like that because by definition, Bakugo and Shoto's quirks have you can see where they came from. You can clearly see that something came from the mother and something came from the father. When you look at Bakugo's quirk, Bakugo has the perfect combination that Endeavor ultimately wanted. Like, Bakugo is like the first, like, he's just, in one attempt, the Bakugo family got what Endeavor wanted, kind of thing. It's a perfect hybridization of the two quirks of the parents. So there's a direct lineage when you look at those two. So that's why it's not mutation here. But now we understand here. And again, as Shizaki said, the power that manifested didn't resemble anything from either side of the family. So that's like the key information here. When All For One transfer a quirk is instant, we saw this in the flashback, agreed. When he was arguing with his brother and we saw them transfer the quirks between two men, the effect was instant. I agree with that. I just, look, if you notice that situation as well, though, when you look at that transfer, not only was it instant, but you also had the other person manifesting the quirk in a very different manner. And largely, it looks like it was the same quirk. So what I'm just saying is that I feel like there's a lot of room here for All For One to say one day, like, hey, you know, some quirks take time, some quirks don't take time. It's just a weird thing. You know, like, do I feel the author could say that? 100%. I do think he could say that. I do think he could play around with this. That's all I'm trying to say there. I just feel like there's enough room to throw doubt there. But again, with All For One so far, agreed. We've only seen instantaneous transfer with All For One. I don't know, Abdor. Let's see. Also, did you know that Horikoshi is the manga author with the most Twitter followers, and he has the bare minimum of tweets compared to other authors by like 1,000? Hiro Mashima is second. Oh, okay. That's nice. The closest thing we have is All For One not fully being integrated into Shigaraki's body. However, considering that this was done through the doctor's weird technology and surgery, I hesitate to as evidence for how transfer via quirks works. Quirks may adapt to the body of quirks are part of someone's biology after all. Okay, but now, Miguel. Wait. There's one detail that we're not taking into account when it comes to the flashback. There's one significant detail that we know is important to both All For One and One For All. The quirk transference that we see in that chapter is from a quirky person to a person with no quirk. Do you guys get what I'm saying? What if when you have another quirk, the transfer takes longer because, as we understand it, you have technically a full cup, and maybe you can like throw a metaphor in there about it takes time to really squeeze it into the cup, or like squeeze it into the container or something like that. That's the only variable. That's the only variable that he could use to justify a slowdown in the quirk transfer, but I don't see how that applies to Tenko. But otherwise, that's about it. That's about it. And thank you, Miguel, because Miguel said it adapts to the body of each individual, and it's like, actually, yeah, it does adapt to the body of each individual, and we know that if you jam too many quirks into a living person, we know that causes the person to be brain dead. So we know there's legitimately a bad effect of jamming quirks into a person. Yeah, White Despair. That panel doesn't have that panel doesn't have like any real dialogue that points to it. But let me just very quickly check. This would have been around chapter 190 something. There we go. 193. Ah, good. Yeah, I have 193. Good. Could All For One delay the act? I mean, I don't know. It's kind of weird because we know that. Oh no, I got the page. I got the page here. So. One second, I'm just loading up 193. I don't have the page before the one that's important. So let me just very quickly load it up. Anyway, White Despair, just very quickly going to skip to your comment here. That you were saying if we take into account that variable. You might have missed it, but I said like I don't see how that connects to Shigaraki. So that's my I totally agree with the issues here. I don't see how that variable would account for Shigaraki because it's like there's too like it's just too strange. Because Shigaraki already has some weird stuff going on with him. Like Shigaraki has a lot of weird stuff going on with him. That's why, yeah. Anyway, let me just very quickly look at 193. do 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 do. 193. Now, he doesn't say anything about actually transferring one quirk from another. But, yeah, no, I see what White Despair is saying. Like, this might be a misdirect from the author in general. I I assumed that it was the same quirk because it's a growth coming from his jaw and it got applied to the other person. It's just, it's a weird image, right? And then when you look at the other person, he has growths coming out of him. But fair enough. I guess maybe safe to say that it's a different quirk. But we'll have to see. Well, actually, I don't think the author's ever going to come back to it. But yeah, otherwise, White Despair, there's not really any critical dialogue here that says anything. Other than it was the guy's jaw that was affected. Oh, but we do know that the other man legitimately had no ability. So one of the people being transferred had no ability. So this is technically the critical variable still. I think that point's valid. That is the critical variable. Let's see. Abdu said favorite legal waifu. I don't know, Fuyumi. Let's see. But if we use the variable, shouldn't Tramco immediately manifest the cases in order for there to be a delay? We have to say that Tenko already had a different quirk. Yes. Again, I don't know how this applies to Tenko. Could all for one delay the activation of a quirk. So back to this one. I don't know, man. Like, he's just, all for one's weird. We still don't know how exactly he made someone explode, right? Maybe Vigilantes has a clue to that, but we still don't know. Let's see. So let's say all for one takes Aoyama's quirk, and we know Aoyama can't stand his own quirk. But what if when he transferred another person, the person actually suited for the quirk? I don't know. Maybe he might have the body that might work with the quirk, right? Like if he has the stomach that won't collapse. Shigi had surgery to overcome quirk singularity and have a body that can have super strength without quirks, and be able to hold both all for one and one for all. You know what I find really... Again, I still find this really strange. I find it really strange that the Doctor thinks that these modifications can control one for all, a power that they've never actually tested, right? It is kind of cocky to say that, oh yeah, no, I am totally going to be able to predict one for all's behavior and do this. I'm pretty sure hatred's going to be the thing. It's just so non-scientific. You guys get what I'm feeling? Like, if I was a doctor, I wouldn't feel very comfortable about this. Because it's like, what do you actually know about one for all, man? And like, one for all itself also is beyond the point of singularity. We need to see how all for one transferred to Higantomachus, since he's the only person to get multiple quirks with no enhancements or alterations. Maybe the more data a quirk has, the longer it takes to download to a new user. And yeah, White Despair, I agree. I'm assuming Sarge is checking over at Sushi, but I've seen nothing on my side when it comes to 4chan. When I look at All For One's younger brother, who thought to be quirkless at first, All Might Izuku, it makes me think that quirkless people in the beginning see things from a deeper, which causes them to be one of the best people to show true heroism. The biggest flaw I see, though, is how they don't take themselves into account and put others first. I don't think so, Kayla. I don't think that quirkless people see things from a different perspective, just because we know that in the beginning, a lot of quirkless people fell to their fear. Like, for instance, that one guy from chapter 193, he ultimately aligned with All For One because he was attacked by a quirked person and he didn't want to feel so helpless. So, you know, it's a little bit complicated. And Yoichi has some concerning rhetoric. Like, aside from what Izuku and All Might do, Yoichi is a little bit... He's a little bit too much of group guilt, I think. But, I think All Might and Izuku legitimately are just unique in that case. Because otherwise, the rest of the One For All users are all noted to have similar traits to All Might and Izuku. Like, remember, Izuku said that Banjo reminded him a lot of All Might in general. And you could definitely say that Nana probably is someone that had a strong sense of justice. It's hard to believe that if All For One did transfer decay to Shigaraki, but he probably changed its nature when it went to based on mental state from his frustration with his family. I don't know. The first user wasn't eating or sleeping to defy his brother. All Might, even going through sustained injury, kept going, and Izuku puts everyone else ahead of himself. Well, okay, like if you like again, just to go with the rhetoric there, and Nana ultimately made a really hard choice to keep her son away from her to protect him, and she ultimately had to suffer with that. I mean, when it comes down to it, the sense of justice is something that quirky people and not quirky people seem to have. White Despair said, one joke theory I came up with earlier was that All For One eventually went and stole the quirk back from that man, since one of the quirks he used at Camino was spear-like bones. Yeah, but that's interesting that he was able to get that quirk back. Right? Because he said he lost a bunch of quirks and he had to get them back again. Apologies, guys. One of the things, speaking of that, one of the things I do love is that in the Kirishima flashback, you can see Higanto Makia trying to get like the spring quirk or something like that. And he was getting it for All For One. Then you see that quirk during Camino. So I actually like that. That was really good continuity from the author there. When All Might gave his quirk to Deku, it took 2 to 3 hours. But when Deku gave it to Bakugo in the movie, it was instant. Yes. Which is why if Izuku gives Shigaraki one for all augments All For One, he'll probably explode. Yes. Do you think there might be a point where the heroes are forced to use Trigger? I wonder. I mean, if I was them and I needed the boost, knowing that there's not really that many side effects, I would use it. Like, there's a lot of anime characters that use drugs to get ahead for a quick moment. I don't think that would be too bad to do. Let's see. White Despair said Nagant also had multiple quirks without any alterations. Yeah, that's pretty weird. Although, like, it was only 2 quirks, right? And whatever the explosion thing was, right? Hiyantamakia has more than 2. He has like 6. Let's see. The 4th and 6th users seem the weirdest to me. I'm interested to learn how they got their power. 4th and 6th. So 4th was Hikage. 5th was Banjo. 6th was N, right? Yeah. Okay. What do you mean by that, Tarnish? All For One seems quite isolated nowadays compared to the amount of people he had serving him in the past. Wonder what happened to them. If they just left him or are they still out there or died? Don't know. But Maki has natural endurance, but having that much quirk stripped Maki of his intelligence. I agree. Speaking of Doctor, I saw a few people on Twitter saying that what proof do we have that the Doctor is the same as Izuku's? How can they be this dumb? I know, right? I know. Like, it's the same. Like, he's wearing the same goggles. Not many people in the world are gonna have that same kind of fashion statement, man. Like, come on. Just accept it's the same guy. Do we know who Nana slept with to make her son? No, Terry. We're not actually totally sure. How do you lose quirks without getting beat up? I never understood that about All For One. So if he gets beat up badly and gets away, should he lose quirks too? You know, Tarnish, we talked about this like a few weeks ago. I think we've all come down to it being just the man lost his head. So spilling out some quirks when you lose your entire head might be actually a pretty reasonable excuse. Oh, it was blood transfer? Okay. And Terry, I don't think we know. Can someone confirm? We don't fully know about that other kid. We just know that kid's missing. We have no idea where that kid's at. Any spoilers yet, Trip? No, man. There's no spoilers. I'll go check out Sushi. There's no spoilers on 4chan. This is kind of weird. If we are getting it early. Yeah. Yeah. I don't see anything here, man.
Is there time for a
So far, all we really have is a table of contents released. I'm just looking through again. Yeah, all we have is table of contents. Yeah. Just trying to see if I can read anything else here. Yeah, not too much more data. Yep, okay. Okay, blood transfer faster digestion. Because his hair went into Izuku's stomach and had to digest in the movie transfer power by blood, which was instant. For some reason, I believe Nana's lover was the sixth user, but I'm just guessing. I don't believe it's Gran Torino. I think Gran Torino might have come in afterward. Think about, compared to All Might, Izuku got a fellow hero in training and a villain to fall in love with him. I know Izuku is similar to All Might, but different is, but what traits does he have that made these girls attracted to him? Oh, he's like the main character of a shonen. Well, Kayla, like, Toga likes him because he's covered in blood. And Ochako just likes him because Ochako likes him because he's brave. I mean, the girls think that Shoto is quite cute and adorable in general. This last week was an online poll for which villain messed up the most in the war. The options were Shigaraki for poor leadership, twice for telling Hawks about the hospital, and Dobby for bringing Hawks into the fold in the first place. I was very happy to see when the poll closed, Dobby had the most votes and was thus declared the most incompetent of the villains. Nice! But let me be... I want to be fair about that. When it comes to Dobby, I legitimately don't think that him letting Hawks into the... I don't think him letting Hawks in was incompetent. Just because of how much effort went in to actually making sure this worked. Like, I honestly can't blame anyone that got tricked by Hawks. Because, again, they actually killed Best Jeanist and revived him later like he was Jesus. I mean, there's only so much you can do at that point. Like, this... When it comes to the sheer writing here, I can't blame Dobby for being tricked by Hawks. Now, mind you, like, Dobby's largely incompetent everywhere else. But this guy is also the same guy that found out where Hawks' mother lived and then threatened her. Like, this guy wasn't incompetent in every single regard. If I was to be serious about it. Like, that's just me. I can't blame him for that. I think anyone could have been tricked. Unless you did a flat, I'm not going to believe you. Although, you know, Dobby saying, like, I knew I should never have believed you. Or I never believed you from the very beginning. Now, that's like a sore loser. Honestly, he shouldn't have said that. That kind of made you lose respect for him. Because it's like, why did you let him in if you didn't believe him then, you idiot? But if I was being fair, I would keep that in mind. I mean, Dobby's still largely incompetent. Because, like, Mr. Compress has to bail him out almost all the time. Yeah, Dobby's probably still going to be the most incompetent, but I don't think it's for bringing Hawks in. I think it's for all his reactions after he brings Hawks in. The first you have the third, and we know him and the second were a duo, so how did he find Hikage? Just interested to learn more story. Oh, okay, gotcha. Passed on all for one. One for all with a missing arm. Did that traumatize Nana? I don't know, maybe. It looks like Taiyo is now silver rank. I wonder if he's going to plan to talk to Doctor to learn about the first head next chapter. I think so, Chris. Bringing Hawks into the full... Okay, got that. Let's see. Any series you caught up with, Trip? I watched Digimon, and I'm caught up with Hero Academia. I caught up with Tsukimichi, because I want to do a review for it. Hopefully I'll be well tomorrow to be able to, like, do a full thing for it. But yeah. That's all I got right now, random. Inka was confirmed to be the traitor. Nah. Let's see. Let's see. Can you guys imagine if Momo was a traitor because UA allows Mineta to stay there and it just drove her insane? 7 beers into my 24 pack. Oh, okay. Now we understand what's going on with Terry. All right, cool. Doesn't Inko cry as much, if not more, than Izuku? I think Izuku beats her. The Todoroki genes are no joke. Gran Torino is the dad of Nana's son, but didn't want to pay child support or marry her, so he convinced her to give the baby up for adoption. But he failed, because he didn't give it up for adoption. They were together for a very long time. Hawks played his position well. He even had Tragic Orkin to support him actually switching sides if he was tired of being a dog. Agreed. Normally, I would agree about Dobby not being at fault for being tricked. However, you're forgetting something important. If we're to believe that Dobby, then he never believed in the first place, which is... If that doesn't count as incompetent, I don't know what does. Ah, yes. I addressed that too. Okay, great. You addressed the point I addressed at the end. Great, great, great. Like, really, that's the... If Dobby never opened up his mouth as much as he did, I would have been a lot nicer to him. But like White Despair pointed out, and I said earlier, Dobby then goes on and says he never trusted him, which is like, why did you bring him in then, you idiot? Still laughing at how Twice said Dobby might know a good plastic surgeon. Yes. And it's like, actually, maybe he might, but I don't know. Dobby... The thing is, that skin that he has on him, that has to be the skin of a teenager, because there's no way he would have stretched out the skin of when he was a child to cover his teenage body, right? And yeah, Tarnish, I agree. Like, Hawks was talking real... Like, there was an element of truth to what Hawks was saying. Okay, Jason said, never understood that twist. Dobby never trusted Hawks. He even went straight to Twice when they got raided. I think he just had tunnel vision for his own plan. Where's Jason's other comment? And underestimated how hard Hawks tried to kill Twice. He even got the death on tape, so he got the evidence he needed to implicate the heroes, but sacrificing the Twice is questionable. I feel like Hody need to explain his line of thinking on this one. Yeah, like, Dobby having a camera on him is, like, really strange in general when you think about it. And we still don't know what Hawks is going to do with his own little voice recorder, but when I first read it, I thought that Dobby was just pretty much being a sore loser. To me, it felt like Dobby went out there, like, it felt like Dobby actually believed Hawks, and then when Hawks actually did something and things went wrong, Dobby's mind went there first, because that's the first person he suspected. And then after that, Dobby's just trying to make it look like he's the best person in the world. He's trying to make it look like he's smart, but he ultimately got outplayed. And you know he got outplayed because at the end of the day, he still thought Best Jeanist was dead. He really legitimately thought that Hawks was fully on their side in that regard, right? And that's ultimately why he lost. I think he fully believed Hawks killed Best Jeanist. And then he just, again, he was being a sore loser when he was just saying out loud that he knew what Hawks was doing. That's how I interpreted it. Let's see. Komi-san is going to be a Netflix anime? Okay. Let's see. Sorry said, I'm looking at what's going to be in the next episode. Notice his white hair isn't... Oh, sorry. I noticed his hair isn't white in the preview where he has that wide-looking cape behind him. But that's where his voice and hair changed already. Okay. How hard... Okay, now I got that. I'm guessing they'll add the white hair during the crazy laugh scene. I would agree. All the best lies have some truth to them. Agreed. Still wondering how Dobby hit a growth spurt with a damaged body like his after the incident. Yeah. So just to be clear, are all the My Hero side things like Smash Team Up missions canon? If not, what are? Oh boy. Well, let's think about this. And White Despair, yeah. Like, it's 100% Dobby just opens his mouth too much. Maybe Dobby was planning to frame Hawks for working with them and killing Jesus all along, but he didn't expect him to counterattack with the mansion raid. Maybe, yeah, maybe. Ultimately, there was a level of underestimation coming in. Kayla said, I was looking back at the older chapters with the Todorokis. At the hospital. Love how Ray says that Shoto is the family's hero, and Shoto thinks back to the sports festival even when he was talking about stopping Dobby, it was all on him. Yeah, Kayla, like when those chapters came out, I was like, no, Shoto's not the family's hero. All he did was exist and get saved. The family's hero is Fuyumi. I don't care. It's Fuyumi. She's the one who's trying to keep these people together. She's the one trying to invite this boy to come back to the house. Nah, man. Nah. It's Fuyumi. But that's just propaganda, Kayla. It's propaganda. But yeah, back to Dobby. But Dobby's just like, he's just the worst sore loser in the world. He really should shut up more. But let's see. Deathray, thank you. I'm sick again. I caught something else, Deathray, but thank you. So let's go back to the Hero Academia side material. So My Hero Academia Smash is not canon, because My Hero Academia Smash is a comedy gag manga that wishes, or that Hero Academia wishes it could be as real as. My Hero Academia Vigilantes is essentially canon until you find a plot hole, in which case you just have to like kind of look at it loosely. But it's essentially canon. The movies are like essentially canon as well, essentially in the sense that you can imagine that's okay. So the way I always do this is flat out, I imagine a expanded universe and the manga continuity, right? In the expanded universe, you can put in all the other stuff and try to make it work, and if there's like any plot holes, you just kind of have to tell yourself a loose version of these events happen in the main manga, right? Now, if you take that approach, some things make more sense. For instance, School Briefs has an event or has a chapter that was referenced in one of the recent chapters of Hero Academia manga, that being the story of how Tokoyami and Kirishima and a few others fell into a weird basement area in UA, right? That's a connection there. Now, School Briefs, people will say, has errors because it misgendered 13, but pronouns are difficult in Japanese anyway, so that might have just been a translation liberty that was applied, and then it was ultimately a mistake. For those that follow Genshin also recently had a pronoun issue with one of the archons, that the localization mistranslated into a male when it was a female or something like that. So that's how I look at the extra material. When it comes to team-up missions, as far as I'm concerned, team-up missions is canon with any universe that takes the movies as canon, because Melissa appears. So that's how I would recommend going about things, just to be the clearest way. You have the expanded universe where you can fit everything in, and then you have pure manga continuity. The reality is, from pure manga continuity references the movies, and it references now School Briefs, and also it references Vigilantes. So, you know, what can you really do with that? Like, at this point, it's just a matter of whether or not you want to accept it. Best Unit said he definitely got tricked with the best. Oh, sorry. Jason said he definitely got tricked with the best unit, saying they gave him a legit dead body due to Central Hospital magic. I just don't understand the line of thinking with Hawks. Fair enough, man. I believe My Hero Smash is non-canon for some of the crazy things I've seen. This is something I want Holly to elaborate because it's not exactly clear. And to be fair, Dobby isn't as stupid as a lot of people think. Exactly, right? Like, Dobby isn't as stupid as people think. Like, when it comes to planning, again, Dobby is probably one of the best users that we have seen in the villains. This guy was able to figure out Hawks' identity. That's not something that we have been told is easy. So, what can you really do, right? Like, the guy is stupid in real time. But when you have him planning, he's very good at making use of resources. Chris asks, do you think Sukina and Chrome can build a rocket that can make a return trip, or they fail and can't make a rocket in time or at all? I think they can make... I was reading some of the things people were saying about this, how there's another solution to make that return trip work. So I feel like they might be able to stumble upon the return trip science. Because I think that people were talking about how SpaceX does their stuff. And I agree with White Despair's rant on Dobby, man. Dobby was literally screaming about how Nejude was dead, and yet his attack did pretty much nothing to her, just singed her hair. Gave her a haircut, pretty much. Dobby's the douche. He did not care whether Trice died or not. Hawks asking if Dobby was sad about his friend dying. Dobby said... And Dobby saying he was while smiling. Yeah, man. And yeah, no, he completely didn't learn his lesson after Compress called him out and had to save him out. In Japan, there's no he, she. Whenever they say Magnet is male, they're right. You lose all benefits when you have a rap sheet like this. Let's see. Hey, Sar. Are the movies like Poisons we get to decide and it's canon? I think that's like the easier way. I mean, again, if the movies are referencing... Oh, sorry. If the manga is referencing the movies, I think you have a really good, compelling argument. The reason I go with this approach is just because some people on online forums are a little bit too purist. And they're just going to be a little bit too annoying. Like, some people, for some reason, can't handle two interpretations of a universe. So that's why I don't like engaging with it. I just say, like, just imagine expanded universe and manga only. The reason I took on this, just like to give you guys the backstory, the reason I took this perspective when it comes to this kind of chat is because of Bleach, and specifically because of the Bleach light novels. So the Bleach light novels references events that come from a filler arc, and manga fans hate filler arcs, and they don't take Can't Fear Your Own World seriously because of it. And it's like, just assume that there was some version of the events that occurred, man. That's all you need. And Can't Fear Your Own World, again, that's why I have this opinion. It's largely because people are annoying on the internet, and that's why I just think of it like that. And heck, if you want to get a sense of how annoying these people can be, right now we're seeing it in Hero Academia in full force. You have the manga onlys being extremely purist when it comes to the adaptation. And it's like, guys, like on paper, this is going to be quite fine for anime onlys. Like the manga purists right now are going through what light novel fans are going through when it comes to their adaptations. Also, you said you'll watch the video on Forever's last review of the My Hero Academia chapter. Oh, you're right. I'm not feeling up to it, man. Like I got a major headache. I don't want to keep putting it off because I know what if I'm sick tomorrow? All right, yeah, Ty, let's watch it tomorrow. If I feel bad tomorrow, I feel bad. We'll watch it anyway. It's just like right now I'm having trouble talking and everything. But Nah. You know what? Let's watch it. Maybe I can shut up for a little bit if I'm listening to someone else talk too. Yeah. Okay, Ty. Ty, what's the chapter number on it? I think the movie is canon, but is repeated by an unreliable retelling, maybe told years after the fact. Oh, that's a good way of interpreting it. Dobby had an Aaron moment when Twice died. One Piece is one of the only series that constantly gets hyped up and actually lives up to those expectations. I don't know. No, there's been moments where One Piece has let down people. There's been some moments. I remember people were really mad at chapter 1000. I got that one right. That was pretty funny. That was a pretty funny time. So many anime onlys really think Dobby is cool. Don't know why. Also, last episode of Hero Academia anime is going to be a beach filler episode for the villains. What? We're doing beach filler? Wow. Oh, yo, I remember there was a gag manga panel of the villains getting shipwrecked, or like on a deserted island. That'd be funny. Oh, Robert. Hey, Robert. Do you believe Midnight is what Penelope Spectra from Danny Phantom would have been if she was good? Don't remember Danny Phantom well enough to tell you an answer there, Robert, so I can't say. Dobby shoots Kamui Woods and then starts bragging. Turns out Midnight wasn't hit, and Kamui wasn't even unconscious. Less than an hour later, Dobby shoots Nejude and brags about how she's dead. Well, yeah, but that's we've talked about this issue with Dobby, right? He needs people around him to help him when it comes to these things. I think Horikoshi said, but correct me if I'm wrong, that some filler are discarded ideas he had for the main manga, either because it wasn't fit for the story or time. I don't know about the filler, but I know he has a lot of background information that he writes up, but he never gets into the manga proper. I haven't read any interview where he talks about the filler, Not to say that there isn't an interview. I am behind on Horikoshi interviews, Miguel. So I'll keep an eye out for that. Aha, Terry, no, not today. I am lightheaded though. One Piece failed with the Scabbard's portrayal. 325. The video is 1450. Alright, chapter was so mad in comparison to the hype the community was giving it. Yeah, speed was there. But for that situation, I always find that chapter funny because I was telling everyone the chapter is going to end in Luffy punching Kaido. That's what it's going to be. And I don't understand why everyone was hyping it up because it's like Oda doesn't care. He cares, like, what he cares about is Luffy looking cool, right? Wait, it wasn't Horikoshi, it was Kishimoto from Naruto manga. Oh. Oh, that's interesting. I definitely didn't know that, Miguel. Definitely didn't know that. Oh, Death Ray. Wait, Death Ray. You like Eden Zero, right? Death Ray? You're the one that likes it, because I think you're the one that talks to me about it. I wish we had a manga that made fun of how they over-explain complex abilities in Battle Shonen. I think that's probably Mashal right now. That'll probably be the one. Oof, man. Guys, not gonna lie, I am fading fast. I think the medicines are kicking in. So, after we watch the Forever World video, maybe we'll call it a night there. Or like a few minutes after, we'll call it a night. Let me just check Sushi's real quick here. Yeah, I don't see anything on that Sushi. Let me check 4chan. What would be interesting is if everything is out tomorrow morning. That would be really interesting. Yeah, no, nothing. How strange. I wonder why. Maybe they come out during the night. Terry, 12 beers are too many for one night. Gotcha. Alright, cool, Death Ray. So, when it comes to Eden Zero, I saw that they announced that Eden Zero is getting its second season, which obviously it was going to. I don't know what world you're living in if you think Eden Zero isn't getting its second season. Like, the Mashima machine cannot be stopped. But I also saw that Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest is getting their second season. Or, sorry, it's getting its first adaptation, which is pretty neat. The only thing with like Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest is that the beginning, like Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest suffers from what almost all sequels suffer.
In honor of...
Oh, oops. Alright, here it comes. The stream's about to really die. I'm looking for... Where are you? Ah, there it is. Unexpected series canceled. What are you talking about for Neverworld? You talking about Candy Flurry? It's pretty obvious Candy Flurry was going to be canceled. Anyway. Okay, got the ad set up. Let's see. All the beer is getting an anime. Yesterday we had the usual fake Sushi account with fake. It's a shame that it seems the real ones are still not coming early. Do you guys think the tall woman is more elk-like, or more like a fox or a shark? Man, I don't even know anymore, man. One second. Do 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 do. Let's see what Foreverworld was saying. Let's just let that run there for a second. Oh, right. Sorry. I forgot. Oh, god damn it. I can't make them run on potato quality. Okay, guys, you gotta let me know how the audio's coming out here. Oh, God. 1 second. Man, for Neverworld. It's been so many years. Anyway, It's probably gonna be some kind of punny name, man. Probably just a pun. Quality. We don't need to be at 720. Let's just drop it to 360. Make that easier for my computer.
Okay,
Right.
so I gotta keep it real. For the longest time, ever since this whole little mini arc started of them trying to bring back Deku, but in particular, the last few chapters where Class 1A was basically essentially pleading with the people that are staying in the UA stronghold, you know, the school now that basically was turned into Fort Knox thanks to the principal.
This is a really
lot of
epic
what I was
background
feeling
track.
personally was, and I've said this before in my last video regarding the manga, is that I felt like the people were right. I felt like the civilians that are in the stronghold were correct in feeling that, why are y'all trying to bring this kid here? Like, why are y'all trying to bring the bomb to the bomb shelter? You get what I'm saying? Like, essentially, this is supposed to be a safe haven. Everybody was under the assumption, like, boom, we're good, we're safe here. And the one main target of the opposition, of the villains, you're gonna bring them over here. I just put myself in the shoes of every...
Again, this first point is correct. Why would you, like, legitimately, why would you take Izuku to that place? Like, at the end of the day, those civilians are believing in UA when honestly UA hasn't earned that belief. This has been my opinion for a very long time. Mind you, it's nice that they're willing to take a chance on the heroes because they understand that they're all in it together. But honestly, I wouldn't have. I would have snuck Izuku in. I wouldn't have let the civilians know anything.
civilian there, you got a family, you're trying to protect your family at all costs. It's like, yo, we don't want the kid to die, but why the fuck here? Why here in particular? So for the longest time, I was like, oh, come on, Horikoshi, like, there's no way you're gonna be able to pull this off where I'm gonna feel satisfied, where I'm gonna feel like it's anything other than a little bit corny. That's what I thought, honestly, and I gotta go.
One thing to point out here too, like, I think the opinion here is going to be changed largely by how you feel about authority, and also if you have a family. Like, I do 100% think that for Neverworld is projecting his own fears for his kids about putting them in this situation. Because again, UA doesn't deserve any kind of goodwill in this. They have been a string of failures, of high-profile failures. Optics-wise, there's no reason to believe in them. The only reason you're believing in them is because you have no other choice, is really what it is. And if you look at the way that people were arguing, they were arguing it based on, like, he's our only weapon. And again, the point here is, Izuku's their only weapon, but look at how badly they let Izuku get in the first place, right? There's really no reason, logically, to actually believe in UA. And, like, from a narrative perspective, UA's going to be breached. So...
for Horikoshi, because he actually managed to find a middle ground that even for myself, that I was very much so doubting what would be the outcome of all of this, he actually made it palatable. He actually made it feel like, okay, this is kind of a happy medium. I actually can sit and rock with what he actually created here, because it didn't feel too much like unrealistic, like, hey, you know, the people bent their will to the point of saying screw my family. So we're gonna get into it in terms of how it was done, how the
I agree with that. I think Horikoshi's, again, when I look at the rhetoric, I can see that what they're forcing is, this is the best shot we all have. That is one of the best ways to go about doing this, because otherwise it's not going to work. And I do think putting in that note about taking Izuku to Shiketsu and you'd have the same situation happen over there was a really good move on Horikoshi. But again, the thing to keep in mind here is the exact rhetoric that was used to strong arm the civilians into saying yes. Like, they used a lot of emotional manipulation, and they used you have no other choice kind of thing.
happy medium came to be in terms of the civilians coming to grips with, yo, Class 1A is having Deku here one way or other. But yeah, it also seems as though we're putting that behind us as well moving forward, thanks to that ending of the latest chapter with Aizawa. We got a lot to talk about. Without further ado, people, let's talk a little bit of that My Hero Academia.
I don't think that, people talk about that Aizawa thing, but I don't think that Aizawa thing is that big of a deal. I think that's Aizawa pretty much saying, like, we have our forces shored up here. We're gonna be able to fight a defensive battle. That's what that sounds like to me. It's not like they're gonna go out on war. I don't think that's what's gonna happen.
Mistaken that it started off with Uraraka. She was basically with a megaphone. She was trying to plead and beg with the civilians that are staying at the stronghold of UA. Please let our dude stay here. Like, he's done so much for people. He's a good person. How can we possibly turn our backs?
When you're broken on.
Oh, okay. Any current anime dub try? Oh, I don't know. Dobby's problem is that he has a team, but he won't ask them for help. Just
Kind
like
of
how
dove into her
Endeavor is learning
character
that
and
he
everything
can't.
she felt as being a hero and what she felt like when it comes to heroes to begin with. So it kind of dove into Uraraka's character at the same time, all while pleading with these people like, yo, please let him stay. And for a minute, they were still all like, no. No, no, no. And I was agreeing with them. I'll be honest with you. I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, enough. No, I'm being realistic. If I am at this safe haven and y'all saying that y'all want to bring the target that is going to attract danger to my family, no, don't bring him here. However, again, we'll get into it of how I feel like Horikoshi found the happy medium that didn't feel cringy, corny, or unrealistic with the ultimate outcome of what the civilians decided in the end. Because at the end of the day, it's their lives that are hanging in the balance. And don't get me wrong, I totally get that one way or another, yo, All for One is trying to destroy everything. So yeah, he could come there next if he takes.
All for One's not trying to destroy everything. All for One's not trying to destroy everything. All for One wants a kingdom. All for One just wants to rule his kingdom the way he did. Again, we've seen what society looks like when All for One is ruling it. We've seen like maybe 3 generations of quirk users. Well, what generation are we at now? We always talk about this, but we're about, what, 5th, 6th, whatever. We've seen what All for One's rule looks like. Society survived. All for One is lawful evil. He's not Shigaraki. All for One wants to have probably controlled opposition as well. Yeah, he wants to be the Demon King. Demon King rules over something like fun. Like, I think this is a big misinterpretation that a lot of people have about All for One in general.
Takes out Deku, but ultimately it still felt like, you know what I'm saying, it's a dangerous situation bringing this kid over here. Y'all promised us safety. And I definitely feel like one of the messages of the last few chapters
And no,
was
sorry, no
that,
international
you know,
heroes.
being good can get you a long way. Like, that's something that is kind of internal and core to a lot of things, because throughout the chapters we see a couple of people that Deku saved along the way. We see Koda from all the way back in the muscular stuff, which a lot of people like to say, Horikoshi ain't gonna remember this, that, and...
And yo, Speed, I know that Shigaraki's old thing is about destruction, but at the end of the day, Shigaraki's being controlled by All for One, and All for One, the most recent thing he has said is that he's going to be this is the birth of the Demon King kind of thing, right?
In the third, he forgot the traitor plot line, but he's bringing back...
Again, like, this is my interpretation. I do think Shigaraki's just a useful, he's a useful weapon. He's a useful fool kind of thing.
Koda from, you know, all the way, I don't even know, that was quarter of the way into the series or some shit. Koda from, you know, the whole thing with Muscular, how his parents and all that shit. Like, he brought that kid back, and he was there kind of vouching for Deku, alongside just recently when Deku was on his solo mission arc, that, like, you know, humanoid-looking creature that kind of looks like a mink from One Piece. But, you know, even that person as well, like, yo, he saved us, he's a good person, they came to vouch for him, essentially showcasing that some of the good deeds that Deku did along the way is coming back and paying him back tenfold in a positive manner, of they're there now saying, like, yo, but he's a good dude, like, we should just allow him to come here. And the way in those chapters Deku was drawn, I ain't gonna lie, I say it a lot, but I gotta say it again, Horikoshi, in my opinion, doesn't get enough credit on the art side of things, because a lot of people are My Hero Academia anime fans, not necessarily fans of the manga, and definitely don't appreciate some of the art that Horikoshi be banging out, that I'm like, he does this in a week, he does this, he storyboards, draws, inks, all of this shit in a week. Some of those panels where, like, Deku was bowing to the people, basically pleading for a place there at UA, it was phenomenal. I mean, just almost every panel that you see Deku in, especially in chapter 324, he just looked incredible, and mad props to Horikoshi. Like, I can't even believe it that he, again, bangs this shit out in a week, and he don't get enough credit for his art. A lot of people say, like, My Hero's mainstream, it's honestly right now the #1 most selling manga in the US, kind of crazy shit there, but people don't ever, you know, say, hey, Horikoshi is a banging artist, and he does some incredibly detailed stuff. And the way his art style
I think
is,
we
it
all
definitely
say
feels
that,
like there's
though.
like almost a dark tone to it, which is kind of crazy because the anime totally rips that out with all the colorful stuff and shit like that. But I don't know, side note, I would love for Horikoshi to draw a horror manga after My Hero Academia. Just saying. And then when
Probably
All
not
Might
gonna
was referenced
survive.
about his legacy, and it kind of was a reminder to the people like, yo, All Might was one person and he held shit down, and look, eventually it drained him, the best of the best. If the best of the best, All Might, fell and, you know, couldn't sustain himself, then this kid right here that, yeah, he has, you know, the whole one for all power and shit like that, he's gonna fall too, and then what? And I ain't gonna lie, the best possible scenario of all of this, because again, like, I'm not doing section by section for this video in particular, because a lot of it was just essentially the heroes pleading with people, and in particular a lot of the class 1A characters pleading with these people, please let him stay, please let him stay. It almost felt like, you know, when you was a kid and you begged your parents to let your friends stay over and shit like that, something like that. But the compromise that Horikoshi came with, again, I feel like it was very realistic, and it satisfied me, because I wasn't liking where it was going. I felt like, oh no, they're just gonna say, we've had to change your heart, we love you, Deku, we're gonna die for you, and again, like, yo, you're still gotta protect your family at the end of the day. I'm not gonna lie, if it's me and mine or some random fucking kid, it's me and mine. That's it. It is what it is. Not saying that I'm going to purposely hurt this kid, but you gotta protect yours. However, again, the compromise that was made that, well, he's not trying to come up in here and kick his feet up. He just needs to rest. Look at him. He's ragged. He looks all messed up. He's been saving people. These people are vouching that he is a true to blue hero in a time where all these heroes are putting down their capes. They wasn't real ones to begin with. A lot of what Stain was kind of preaching, which I would love for Stain to show up and say, you hypocrite. Like, yo, that would have been an epic twist now that I think about it. If instead of the people coming around to saying, yo, if he's just gonna rest up and bounce, no problem. Which again, I like that solution. I think that was a fair trade in the midst of how complicated the situation was. But imagine Stain showed up and just started attacking motherfuckers. You hypocritical motherfuckers. He's a real hero. That shit would have been lit. I would have been going crazy because, again, Horikoshi set up that.
If Stain showed up in UA and he started doing that, it would have made the UA barrier look stupid. It would have immediately justified that no one should trust UA If Stain showed up there, crazy, lost a nose to knuckle duster Stain, shows up there, everything is stupid. Everything goes down the shitter. If Stain shows up there, you don't believe anyone, because Stain is trash. If Stain is a back alley hoodlum who can barely afford to pay rent. Nah, I know this. It's funny. It's funny, but like, if this kind of stuff happened, this is what happens when you're thinking with adrenaline. Imagine, All For One. This place is made to counter Shigaraki and All For One, and Stain. I swam from Tartarus. Stain shows up there. Stain, who can't get a proper skincare regimen going on, just shows up. Yeah, all right, that would have been funny.
Stain was watching Deku and All Might, and he's probably still lurking around there. What is he doing? What is going to be his thing? Like, it would be crazy if him and Stain, like Deku and Stain, run together. I want to see that happen. I think Stain would definitely, because remember even way back when he said that Deku embodied what a true hero is. Stain would rock with him, and who would be the sidekick though? Would it be Deku or Stain? That's something I felt was missed in the whole Deku solo hero shit. That would have been dope if he would have kind of almost interned essentially with a vigilante like Stain.
Stain's not a vigilante. He's a murderer. He murders people for having a job.
Well, I guess the people would look at it a certain way, like, yo, you're running with a criminal that's escaped. So I don't know. And I mean, I guess still technically
he's a murderer.
Like, yo, y'all know that Stain is a criminal, right? How is this kid going with him? But anyway, back to
he's not a criminal. He's a murderer.
I don't know. I felt like they did a good job. I felt like Horikoshi came to.
This is how you downplay people, man. That's how you do it. You downplay what they do by like just playing with the words a little bit.
Resolution that didn't make me pissed off. Didn't make me feel like this corny ass shit. Because again, they're like, we see this kid. We see this dude. He looks like shit. Okay, he looks like he bathed in pig shit. How can we just throw him out there when he's a hero and he's a real one and we got few and far between to actually call a real hero? Come here, kid. We'll let you bathe. We'll let you relax a little bit. But then you gotta get the fuck out. You gotta go, fam. Like even in Shiketsu High, they ain't gonna let you in that bitch, right? Because they're gonna feel the same way. Yeah, rest up, relax, get better, and get out. That was a fair trade. Honestly, I feel like Horikoshi did a great job in that aspect of finding a happy medium of not completely having these people sell out their own families for a stranger, and at the same time also having like, yo, the heroes were begging and pleading like keep sweat, and it just made it more palatable. Honestly, it made it less cringy. Like, don't get me wrong,
thanks,
I
Terry.
felt sympathetic towards Deku and all this because I could kind of put myself in those shoes as well. Like, imagine like, yo, you need help right now. You really messed up out here. You don't got All Might anymore. You don't got nobody. You need this safe haven because they're gonna come after you, and you're there like at the mercy of people that are looking at you like, get away from me. That is a very, very harsh reality that Deku was just facing. And then towards the end of the latest chapter, I believe 325, we cut to Aizawa, and I ain't gonna lie, I really like Aizawa's new design. He got the eye patch on, he got the prosthetic leg and shit. Like, Aizawa took a beating. Honestly, it's showing you remnants of like the war that we just had in the last couple arcs before everything happened. There was cost. Like there was a death. Aizawa, the teacher from the very beginning of the series, got maimed and all sorts.
It'd be funny if Aizawa gets reset with Eri. That'd be pretty funny.
Sorts of shit happened to him. Like, yeah, there were consequences from trying to go at it with the league or from the league trying to take over. And ever since that whole battle, it's also interesting from what Aizawa said that they've taken extra measures. Because remember, this is supposed to be their stronghold. So we find out for starters that they've taken extra measures to make sure that if like somebody like Olga, for example, that can kind of morph and shit like that, she can't just sneak in. Like, they've done everything they possibly can. They even addressed the overall situation of Kurogiri. Because remember, Kurogiri would have been the ultimate one that could immediately get in, hack in, destroy their security systems, which if they have anything even remotely close to that, we're kind of screwed. But ultimately, like, it addressed a lot of the concerns.
Well, this was a point where that White Despair talked about last week, but this hasn't addressed anything. We still don't know All For One's version of teleport or warp, the black sludge warp. We don't know how that works, so we're still like, there's something incorrect in the manga. Even this isn't good. Nothing's been addressed in that regard.
May have about like how are they still going to keep out the villains like foolproof plan? Well, also don't forget we still have that whole traitor thing in the midst, and I think that's what's going to be what ultimately destroys their fortified system. Because now the way Horikoshi set it up, the principal has to look like, yo, he really did his job, and the system is all set, and they really can't break in no matter what they do. The traitor is going to be the one that's going to mess everything up from the inside. I'm calling it. Whether it be that the theory going around the principal's the traitor, and that's why he set up the fortress to begin with UA and whatnot. But ultimately there's going to be a backdoor he left open. Whoever the traitor is, that is going to be where they're going to finally strike. And
it'd be nice if the traitor gets stopped in general and we just turn into a defensive fight, like a regular defensive fight. Like, I'd be quite alright with the traitor being stopped. I think it'd be neat. Just do I would love to see good old style Chinese tactics. I want to see a full-on actual legit war of trying to break into a fortress. I want to see them needing 3 times the amount of heroes that UA has. Like I think that'd be more
That's
interesting.
going to be very devastating, honestly. Like, I don't know why. I just thought of, remember the episode of Teen Titans where Terra let the security systems slate in them attack Titan's tower? Whoever it is going to do that, and maybe it's going to be, what is it, Invisible Girl? Like, maybe it's going to be her. I don't freaking know. And having recently watched the Obero episode that they actually did do well in season 5 of My Hero Academia, it was very emotional to see Aizawa talking about Obero once again and how, they've tried with Kurogiri and whatnot, and he hasn't had any luck breaking through, but, they're doing studies and shit like that. Like, ultimately, at the very least, some of the stuff from My Hero Academia season 5 kind of, did its thing, I guess. And then the end of it seems like we're finally moving forward from this begging the civilians mini arc, because Aizawa says it's time for payback, and maybe we're about to start striking against the bad guys, the villains, and I'm looking forward.
See, again, I don't get the hype on this because they don't have the resources to actually make full-on strike crews when they're still kind of dealing with civilians. Like, really, to me, it just looks like it's going to be tactical. And honestly, when you have... The thing is, strike back at the villains. You've already been doing that. Endeavor, Hawks, and Best Genius have already been out there. What else do you want? What more do you want besides the main guys out there dealing with stuff? You have Team Lurkers. They're running operations trying to find the rest of the League of Villains. Or, sorry, the Liberation Front. You have Endeavor, Hawks, and Best Genius actively fighting people. You had Izuku taking out assassins. Legitimately, what more do you want when everyone's already out there? I don't understand how you can get hyped about this in any significant regard. Nah, it's a defensive fight. Like, that's Aizawa. Aizawa's not even ready to go back into the field. He's just going to be doing a defensive fight. What are they going to do? They haven't found... They don't even know where All For One is. Nah, man. Like, I think that's overhype. That's overhype.
Overall, again, I got to say that I was very pessimistic about all of this. The last few chapters...
No, I'm so pessimistic about
it. We got Uraraka begging. We got everybody begging. We got the little kid coming out. We got the mink showing up. Like, I don't know. But when, again, the civilian said something realistic, because I've experienced a similar situation. I remember when I was younger, a friend of mine came running into my crib and he had like a bullet grazed the side of his head and he's bleeding everywhere. I remember I told my mom, and my mom was like, "You bleeding on my carpet? Get the fuck out!" And I remember I told my mom, like, "Yo, but he just took a bullet to the head," and she said, "Clean him up or whatever, and then he gotta get the fuck out." Yeah, my mom be like that. My mom little gangster, you know what I'm saying? No, but like it kind of reminded me of something like that, whereas like, yo, get him good, let him relax, and you gotta go. But I'm curious what you guys thought about this one. How did you watching right now, how did you feel about the resolution regarding Deku and
Holy
his
crap.
placement and staying?
That might have been the best part of the video.
Considering it's, this big fortress now, do you think that potentially the way in for the villains is going to be the traitor that has been set up many moons ago? Your thoughts on Aizawa's badass character design? Aizawa looking like a beast, and your overall thoughts and expectations for My Hero Academia manga with chapter 326 and beyond. It looks like we're about to kick into high gear again. It's time for payback. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you
I don't think we're kicking into high gear. I think we're like bunkering down for one chapter at least. We're bunkering down. All right, that was fun. I had fun. Thanks, Ty. That was actually fun. I do still like Forever World. I really enjoy him. I know. I shouldn't, but... Well, actually, no. There's nothing wrong with liking Forever World. Like, this is where I started. I don't care. Nostalgia. Oh, man. Stains like a murderer, but only let true heroes in his eyes like Deku and All Might live. This bum did let Shigaraki live, even though he's a villain. He even said he'll let Shigaraki grow. Well, Kayla, it's because, like... It's just like what Stain doesn't operate on regular morality. He operates on conviction morality. So if it's either you have conviction or you don't, that's what makes you a good person or a bad person for Stain, right? I can come back to this overtop prick who is nice, Sarge. It's rewind time, and then she gets copyright struck by YouTube. Oh, nice. Aizawa might be offered a reset by Eri, but refused it. I really hope not. And kill him later if he doesn't like how Shigaraki grew up. Hope the traitor is a mutant type so we can see you rant about Trip. I hope so too, because then I'm like, all right, that's it. That's it. This is going to be really terrible. Why would he refuse it though? Z-Killer, it's going to be a point of honor. Like, that's usually how it goes about. Oh, sorry. That's how these kind of things usually kind of work out. Someone makes a point about honor. And therefore, yeah, they don't want to take it. Just gonna do some fishing and probably call it. That was really good though, Ty. That kind of made me feel a lot better, Ty. Like I got back one of my nostrils. I can kind of breathe a little bit better. That was the laughter really did a lot for my soul, Ty. Thanks. Gohan, I think a lot of people would agree with you on that one. I mean, like if we look at the examples, like Juju Kai brought up that there was a traitor, and I'm like, there was a traitor, really? And then One Piece brought up a traitor, and it's like, oh, yeah, but you know that's for like one saga. Like One Piece brought up the traitor and finished it before Hero Academia has even got into it. Aizawa doesn't like to use the little traps to fix mistakes he made as a hero. Cutting off the leg wasn't a mistake, though. Cutting off that leg was smart. I don't think Aizawa made any mistakes in that particular regard. He was fighting a literal... Like, when I look at Shigaraki's pretty much a god compared to everyone else. Like Aizawa was fighting a god of destruction. I guess like he was fighting a tree of death, pretty much. Yeah, they need to plan defense now since Izuku is in UA. Sending heroes out to slow the chaos will be a waste of resources and would exhaust them. Oh, nice. Look at that big fat thing right there. That's the one I want. That giant thing. Oh, this reminds me of fishing with my dad. I miss fishing. Thank God I have Genshin. I just realized I actually can't look away. Oh no. Fishing is the worst activity that I could actually ever do.
So close.
Actually, I wonder if the rumble could tell me what I'm doing.
Wow.
Alright, cool.
My stomach is rumbling already.
No. Let's see. Hody's been hiding the source of Eddie's stockpile for a reason. Yeah, probably. Let's see. Who the heck is the traitor, though? This hurts more than more it drags on. Okay, I actually can't. I can't look away. I'm sorry. Let's get that done.
It's the final.
I'll abandon the challenge. I can't do this.
That was a tough
I'm not that good. Okay, let me read the comments. Let's see. Gohan says it reminds me of some plots in soap operas where they just drag it out to the point the audience doesn't care. Agreed. There's so many genres that would make great battle shonen, but if it's not fantasy, X, or superheroes, it's not going to do well in the industry. Well, I gotta tell ya, Death Ray. When it comes to Shonen Jump, you probably don't want to do a hard fantasy setting. Like statistically, hard fantasy settings like Black Clover do not survive right now. Because all the hard fantasy settings are dying. So you probably want to do modern fantasy or urban fantasy if you were going to do it. In terms of like it's not going to do well in the industry, it really depends. Like if you want to do hard fantasy, you go to the you go to Shonen Magazine, the one that has Eden Zero. That's how you do well in the industry. You have to go to the magazine that actually has a reputation. Okay, look. If you look at the magazines in terms of target audiences, it actually makes a lot of sense. If you want to sell a fantasy, you go to Shonen Magazine. I see no reason why that isn't a viable strategy when you have Seven Deadly Sins and Fairy Tail and Eden Zero on that magazine, right? Thoughts on fishing in the game? Takes a lot of effort. Oh, hey, Going Rogue. Laughter is the best medicine. Also, I bet next chapter or two we find out Hasume helped design the UA barrier. If she helped design the UA barrier, it's going to break. We've seen this girl's stuff break before. Genshin Twitter feed is chaos? Oh, really? The vested literature that Shigaraki had broken the limits of mankind and become a transcendent being. If that doesn't scream godlike, then I don't know what does. Yeah, but you know, like, what do they know? They're ghosts. They died. Like, they're stupid. They're not, like, it's not like they reached enlightenment. They're stuck in a teenager's brain. Right? Like, what do they know? They just know, like, oh, shit. Well, you know what? The birds also knew. Actually, the birds knew that something was coming with Shigaraki. So, there's that. Yeah, that's godlike. And yeah, I don't even hear it, Sarge. Oh, Viz. Yeah, no, this fishing event is kind of good for farming the catch. Kind of feel bad for you, man. You went really hard. It's partly because of this fishing event that I was able to just get some stuff ahead of time. And no, Robert, I don't watch NFL. That's like a Prower thing. Oh, Terry. Yeah, man. See ya, Terry. Let's see. Also, pretty much called what sync partner Red will have. Oh yeah. Snorlax. I saw that. The issue with hard fantasy is that it gets mixed with the isekai genre, so it creates setup fatigue. But you know that is unfortunate. It really shouldn't be mixed up with isekai. It's unfortunate, but we know this happens. That Goblin Slayer and Dungeon Girl are called isekai light, and it's like no, they're not. They're really not isekai like. They're just full on fantasies. And yeah, Gohan, like we're both isekai diehards though. Besides the community forcing their headcanon ships into others to simply get upset about because an artwork had ether in it but not Lumine. Oh, okay. So which of the fight do you think we will dive into? Kaido versus Luffy, King and Queen, Jack, or Long Ear Guy, Big Mom Hawkins fight? Chris, I do think before we do it, like the serious final Luffy Kaido fight, I think we have to finish Zoro and Sanji's fights. I'm not sure about the others though. Ancient spirit of the deceased, what do they know? The birds, absolute truth. Yeah, that's actually how that works. Like, look, man, I will 100% believe in the animals that have survived the passage of time. These things turned from giant dinosaurs into tiny, compact forms. I 100% will believe the birds, especially given that they can. Look, can the ghosts migrate across the world and find their way home by just using magnetic fluctuations or the magnetic field? I don't think the ghosts can do that, but birds can. So yeah, like actually. And I like he called the ancient spirit, please. These people died young, except for Hikage. Nah, but birds are cool. They need that person who designed Izuku's shoes to make his outfit. So now we have 3 Stevens, 3 Lilies, and now we're getting a 3rd Blue and Masters. Yes. I know that Yaka likes the Male Traveler. Well, you know what? I think a lot of people like the Male Traveler, Gohan. Trip, did you see the new Pokemon animation dropped on the official Pokemon channel? The one with Leon? I saw the Leon one. Recently I started typing out details of random ideas I get for stories. I think my price is slowly coming back. Oh, good, Viz. Good. If you need help on how to market, I can at least give you that. Teaser for the next 5-star got released. Oh, Kokomi? Whenever I watch a fan, I question whether or not they're an isekai unless I see a clue about it being so. Don't get me started on the topic of reincarnation. Oh yeah, I love Kayla, Gohan and I love we love isekai as well. My isekais revolve a lot around reincarnation theory. So hopefully you guys will get to read the first official branded under my name isekai in a month or two. I just gotta get the light novel illustrations done for it. Okay, let's see. I'm trying to find where I am. Okay, there's Tai. After Deku's rest, I bet they will have Hatsume design a new costume for him for better support for his new quirks. Better have a cape. Well, I think he's gonna keep Gran Torino's cape, or at least like keep some kind of point to Gran Torino's cape. Just imagine what it must have been like for the Vestiges to find out that they actually weren't spirits, just like they were, and they were instead just genetic copies of the memories of real people. That'd be interesting. That'd be really interesting. I do think that there is something more going on in there, but we'll have to see. Oh yeah, new villain story is going on right now. Oh yeah, the Giovanni stuff. Oh yeah, random enjoys isekai as well. There's reincarnation summoning, which is more like forced kidnapped to another world. Yeah. I think I want to do an isekai where like the main character trained his whole life, and I think some of you guys know the gimmick. It's kind of similar to that one guy that can go atomic, and he makes up that story, and the harem kind of believes it, and it turns out to be true. I forget what it's called, but you know, like the one guy that says I am atomic or whatever. I think I'd like to do an isekai like that, where someone actively breaks into another world because he wanted to do an isekai adventure. It'd be a comedy, which I don't know if that would be worthwhile in the market right now, but I'll let you know if I ever do it. I'm currently 30,000 words in on my my next project right now. Zoro versus Sanji. Well, we know who's going to win, but is Sanji flaming like a type of hockey? I think it is a type of hockey. Legitimately, I think it's hockey. I wonder if Izuku is going to get a new pair of shoes or if his current ones are just going to be cleaned. His shoes have to be extremely dirty. I think he should just get new ones, probably. I'm ready for this week's episode of Moonlight Fantasy and Dungeon of Black Company. I have to catch up on Black Company. Tried writing a fanfic with psychic powers. Once typed up 3 chapters, they got trapped on a broken laptop. My fastest rage quit ever. Heart, man. Also, there's some isekai where the MC never goes back to his old world with summoning. Although Isekai Smartphone Toya actually did visit back in Earth. Oh, nice. Have you watched the Marvel What If series yet? The evil Doctor Strange episode was amazing. Yes, Ty. I watched it after you told me so much about it. I got up to the Doctor Strange episode. Kayla said, I honestly don't like seeing Izuku wearing a cape. I understand it's Gran Torino, but I see no point in him wearing on. Especially if villains start pulling Izuku with it. Edna says no capes. Well, like, a cape has its uses. If you want to look for the uses of hero paraphernalia, you really have to look at Medio, because Medio explains what the value of the cape is. Like, if you're going to be fighting villains, I don't think you should wear a cape. If you're going to be doing more like rescue operations, I think you need a cape. Ah, yes, thank you, Gohan. Let's get it. Let's see. Because Luffy Red Hawk is a type of hockey. Faraway Planet is a top tier isekai. The anime adaptation about to snap. Oh, okay, cool. All right, guys. I'm gonna call it and go to bed. Thank you all for being here. Let me just check if there were any spoilers. Yep, no spoilers. So I guess tomorrow we'll have to deal with it. I assume... I like how Ida has many glasses. I assume Izuku has many pairs of shoes. Maybe. What do you think of good Thanos in the set? It really threw me off. I thought, like, it's a little bit ridiculous to say that T'Challa is all that was needed to convince Thanos to do things another way. There's also an isekai involving Crest getting an anime. I follow that. Oh, I follow that one as well, Gohan. I know the one you're talking about. Oh, that's a good point, Kayla. Medio is an exception. That's a good point. Let me think about it. How many people actually have capes in Hero Academia? There aren't actually that many with capes. But good point, Kayla. Good point. Anyway, guys. Thanks for being here. I'll start saying the good nights now that you guys got it. So, good night to Sam, Gohan, Kayla, Ty, Speed, Going Rogue, Matt, White Despair, Jason Thomas, Skelly, Chris. There's 24 people on the stream. That's pretty cool. Thank you all for being here. Miguel. Good night, Miguel. And stay healthy. Oh, Mark. Good night, Mark. Good night, Robert. Good night, Death Ray. Speed. And yeah, Gohan, thanks, man. I've been busy, Gohan. I know you know why I've been busy. I just been working on things. Currently reading the manga for light now. I was summoned into another world, but the world's at peace. Oh, nice. And good night to you too, John. And good night to Viz. I just thought of something. I was hoping that you could double check the translation for me. In chapter 237. Okay, let me just check this for White Despair here real quick. And good night to Matt. So, guys, just give me a quick second here. Just gotta check this for White Despair. Just gotta wait for White Despair to type it up here. Like, I'm currently looking at the pages, White Despair, so just tell me what you need. Well, while we wait for White Despair, yeah. Hopefully tomorrow we'll get new spoilers. I guess I could give my last minute predictions. I really don't know what we're going to do next. I feel like maybe we do a mini time skip. But, yeah, I don't know. I feel like we're going to maybe take a break. I think that would be nice. Or maybe we see the villains. Okay. Kill the Thogs. He remarks that Shigaraki is subconsciously holding back his quirk. I know this is hard, but I still find it interesting that All For One refers to decay as Shigaraki's quirk. Yeah, that's what he says in the manga as well. White Despair. He says his own quirk. But okay, noted, White Despair. We'll talk more about it tomorrow. Anyone see the recent preview for I Was Kicked Out of the Heroes Party? No. You find out the maid is the former Demon King or King, whichever you prefer. Okay, cool. So guys, we got White Despair's comment. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night. Ending the stream in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Till next time, everybody. Stay safe.